Good afternoon. I am Leah Lind, the Lyme and tick-borne disease epidemiologist for the Pennsylvania Department of Health. Lyme disease is one of the most common infectious diseases reported in Pennsylvania. Ticks that transmit Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases can be found in all regions of Pennsylvania, so it is important to protect yourself and your family from ticks. One of the best ways to protect yourself from ticks is to apply permethrin to shoes, clothes, and gear before you spend time outdoors. Apply permethrin to shoes and clothes you may use for yard work, hiking, and other outdoor activities. Before camping, you can also apply permethrin to sleeping bags and tents. Permethrin should not be applied to the skin, but it effectively kills ticks. Before you head outside, apply insect repellent all over, to skin and over clothes. This repels ticks as well as mosquitoes so that they won't bite you. Mosquitoes may also carry diseases that can make you sick. Once you've spent time outdoors, conduct a thorough tick check. Check all over your body, especially in areas like your hairline, underarms, groin, belly button, and behind your knees. If you find a tick, remove it as soon as possible. Watch for signs and symptoms of Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases, like rashes, fever, chills, body aches, headaches, and arthritis. See a healthcare provider if you develop any of these symptoms and you suspect a tick-borne disease, even if you do not recall having been bitten by a tick. Now, I am pleased to introduce Pennsylvania Secretary of Health, Dr. Debra Bogen. Before joining the Commonwealth, Dr. Bogen was the director of the Allegheny County Health Department and spent more than 2 decades as a member of the Pittsburgh region's medical and research community. Dr. Bogen dedicated her career as a pediatrician to caring for children and families impacted by social inequities. Her clinical research focused on the impact of mental health and substance use on families. Dr. Bogen?
Good morning. I guess it's afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, Leah, for that introduction and for the great work that you and your team do at the Department of Health to monitor and inform residents about tick-borne diseases in Pennsylvania. As Leah mentioned, I'm Pennsylvania Secretary of Health, Dr. Debra Bogen, and I'm very pleased to be out here in this absolutely magnificent park. I want to recognize and thank our sister agencies here today who also share the work they do. They'll share their work they do to reduce tick and mosquito-borne illnesses here in Pennsylvania. We have with us Secretary for Conservation and Natural Resources, Cindy Adams Dunn, and the Department of Environmental Protection Deputy Secretary for Field Operations, John Ryder. It takes all of us working together in the state government as well as in our community to ensure that residents know how to take steps necessary to protect themselves from tick-borne diseases when taking advantage of the great outdoors here in Pennsylvania. I personally love to spend time outdoors, and I do so whenever I can. I bike, I walk, I run, and I hike, often in these, as I said, amazing state parks we have throughout the Commonwealth. And because I know a lot about ticks because of my role and then my experience as a doctor, and because I want to be outside all the time, I take the great advice of our health department. And this spring, I went and purchased 2 very large bottles of permethrin spray. And I do spray my clothes before I head out, and I let it dry. So I spray in advance, I spray it on my shoes and on my pants and on my shirt sleeves so that we are protected when we go out. And that, again, I think of it as preventing those ticks from hitching a ride with me as I walk through the parks. My friends make fun of me because I like to bring my permethrin spray in the back of my car, and when we head out for a hike with friends, I always say, well, if you haven't sprayed yet, I can happily spray your clothes for you. So I do that. But even with this effort, it's really important to check yourself when you get back home. Despite having permethrin on our clothes earlier this summer, my husband and I finished a hike, and we got home and he found a tick under his arm, which of course, because I'm the doctor in the family, he had me remove. But being diligent is really important here in Pennsylvania, and it's absolutely necessary. We rank in Pennsylvania among the top 10 in the country for Lyme disease rates. And thus far in 2024, the Department of Health has recorded over 11,000 laboratory-confirmed cases of Lyme disease. So I know summer's winding down, children are heading back to school, but that doesn't mean that you should be less vigilant. You still need to be concerned and watching for tick-borne diseases. Ticks can be active almost all year round here, so when hiking, biking, walking, and enjoying the outdoors, cutting your lawn, whatever, you should be on the lookout for ticks, even as temperatures fall. Ticks that may cause Lyme disease are found across the entire Commonwealth, from green city spaces and backyards to rural areas and state parks, like the lovely Memorial Lake State Park we're here at today. It's important to take precautions whenever you go out. And when you're done, as Leah had said, it's important to check for ticks and remove any you find. Remember, the sooner you remove those ticks, the less likely they are to transmit Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases. I also want to remind you that Lyme disease is treatable, and symptoms can present anytime from 3 days to a month after a bite. And they may look like a rash that can resemble a bullseye, but it can also look like other things. Fever, chills, fatigue, headache, muscle and joint aches, and swollen lymph nodes. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, I encourage you to see your healthcare provider immediately, because if left untreated, the infection can spread to the joints, heart, and the nervous system. Again, that's why it's so important to prevent tick bites in the first place. The best way residents can prevent tick bites is to cover exposed skin when outside, wear light color clothing to help detect ticks, use EPA-approved insect repellent, and again, as we mentioned, use permethrin spray on shoes, clothing, and gear before heading outdoors. And don't forget to check yourself when you come in after being outside. Earlier this year, the Department of Health launched a new tick-borne disease dashboard to inform Pennsylvania residents and healthcare providers about tick-borne diseases. Residents can view the dashboard and see how ticks impact their area by visiting the health department's website and clicking Ticks and Lyme Disease icon. Again, thank you all for being here on this beautiful day. Remember, talking about Lyme disease and tick prevention is the best way to ensure those you care about stay safe and enjoy Pennsylvania's great outdoors. Next, I want to turn things over to my friend and colleague, Cindy Adams Dunn, Secretary of Conservation and Natural Resources, to tell us how you can protect yourself from ticks at our many beautiful state parks. Secretary Dunn?
Thank you, Doctor. And I'm really gratified that Dr. Bogen led by talking about her experiences hiking in the Pennsylvania State Park System. So that does tell you something when our top health official in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is out there enjoying the outdoors. So clearly the risks outweigh the benefits if you take the proper precautions. So that's the main message today. Get out there, stay healthy, enjoy, recreate, exercise, get the mental health benefits, and then be aware and mindful of the risk that ticks present. I do want to welcome you to the Memorial Lake Complex on behalf of Courtney Troutman and our staff here at the State Park. If you haven't met them, please take an opportunity to meet them and get to learn about what's available here at this beautiful state park, very close to Harrisburg, very close to a populated area, enjoyed by many, including myself as a child. A great park system, a great park complex. We participate in the various tick-borne agency collaboratives led by Department of Health in collaboration with DEP. This is Governor Shapiro initiative where we're all working together to keep Pennsylvanians safe, but get them outdoors and enjoying the trails the way he and his family do. Ticks are a threat to anyone who recreates outdoors. Dr. Bogen said it's not just in state parks. It can be in an urban park. They can be in your backyard. So understanding how to take the precautions and be aware is really important. And I will add, many people love their dogs, and dogs are in your backyard. Dogs are with you in the park. Dogs are hopefully on a leash with you in the park, and dogs are out running around in fields. They can bring ticks into your household. So extend your tick check to your pup and make sure your pup's not bringing ticks into the home, because a lot of people, dogs are in the furniture, dogs are in the bed, and the tick can be there. Also, another threat that we have found in trying to keep our staff safe, we have staff out there across the landscape. Tick can be in your vehicle. Can live on the upholstery of your vehicle, and then you can go home, do your tick check, not see the tick, think you're all right, and then a day that you're just in the office, you could pick up a tick because it's in your vehicle. So this is important to be aware and mindful of the tick issue in your life. Just make it part of your life. Just like the precautions you take on a beautiful sunny day like today. Yes, be out there, enjoy it, love it, wear sunscreen. It's the same thing. Yeah, enjoy it, love it, but take the proper precautions. We do know that the threat of tick-borne disease will get ever more of a risk with the ravages of climate change and the change of weather, the ability of ticks and other vectors to reproduce in the warmer winter weather we're having here in Pennsylvania. So this threat is not going to go away. If anything, it's going to get worse. So developing the habits with you and your family are going to be really critically early on. Dr. Bogen has spoken about the precautions to take. There's also, as she mentioned, wearing light-colored clothing and really being looking for ticks right after the hike. And this is like a typical thing that any hiker can do. Tuck the pants into your sock. And that way you don't have the tick going up inside the pants into some of those places that Leah Lind mentioned you need to check later. So that's an important, like, easy fix for many people. The pyrethrin soaked clothing. I brought an article of clothing along on the bench back there that is actually, you buy it. It's already in the clothing. So sometimes you can just decide you're buying tick-proof clothing. And again, taking the shower immediately after your clothing, outerwear, and your clothing. Some stuff is, if you took a good hike, you probably need to wash it. But even if you don't wash it, run it through the dryer for 10 minutes. That'll kill ticks. Because obviously you don't want to wash your polar fleece every time you wear it. Just run it through the dryer for 10 minutes, and that should help. So again, the Shapiro administration is working together to help make outdoor recreation, to help make a safer Pennsylvania for our public. And we as the three agencies are really willing to stand by and help and really educate people how to do that safely, how to do that consistently, and enjoy the outdoors for the future. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over next to Deputy Secretary John Ryder, Deputy Secretary for Field Operations for DEP. I think you'll learn that he's also an avid outdoors person. So again, that tells you something. All the experts in this field are avid outdoors people, so nobody's staying home and hiding from these ticks. Everyone's outdoor enjoying them, but taking the proper precautions. And DEP has an important role in vector-borne diseases, as John will explain. John?
Thank you, Secretary Dunn. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Ryder. I'm the Deputy Secretary for Field Operations for the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. I'd like to thank our sibling agencies, Dr. Bogen, Secretary Dunn, for taking the time for this important safety discussion this afternoon, as many families across Pennsylvania could encounter the long-term effects of a tick or a mosquito bite. As we know, Pennsylvania is home to a vast range of outdoor activities and scenery that can be fun for the whole family. We are the great American getaway for a reason. However, with enjoying our environment comes the potential encounter with ticks and mosquitoes. Enjoying Pennsylvania's nature on a hike or walk can quickly be ruined by unwanted insect bites, potentially leading to ticks and Lyme disease if bitten by the wrong tick. As the previous speakers have related, I also spend an enormous amount of time in the outdoors here in Pennsylvania. I've been lucky to probably hunt and fish on the vast majority of state forests and the Allegheny National Forest, all of our public lands. I enjoy our rivers and streams across Pennsylvania. A little bit of my personal history. I also was a vector control biologist, like some of the folks we'll meet here in a little while. Early on in my career, I spent several years catching mosquitoes and working with our vector control professionals in the department across the state of Pennsylvania. Since 2018, DEP's tick surveillance and testing program has served to protect public health by collecting and testing ticks out in the wild. This means monitoring Lyme disease in ticks across Pennsylvania's landscape. Our team has found a significant increase in the number of ticks carrying Lyme disease, from 47% to now 60% of black-legged ticks that are infected. The program has also found new species of ticks entering Pennsylvania. Some easy examples are the Lone Star tick, the longhorn tick, and the Gulf Coast tick, which can carry other diseases, including one that causes a red meat allergy. That one would really ruin a backyard barbecue in the coming summer months. This month through September are peak times for mosquitoes, which means higher transmission of mosquito-borne diseases like the West Nile virus. DEP maintains a mosquito surveillance program where we monitor mosquito populations in collaboration with county programs across the Commonwealth. When needed, we will also conduct adult mosquito control operations to reduce the number of adult mosquitoes that can carry West Nile virus. You can see some of the equipment we use over here to collect and trap mosquitoes to test them for the disease in our laboratory. Fortunately, there are a few steps to help protect yourselves and your families from the long-term effects of these insect bites. Again, just to reiterate, we recommend wearing light-colored clothing, using insect repellent as instructed, and do regular tick checks when outside and immediately upon returning from your outdoor activities. For mosquitoes, avoid being outside around dawn and dusk when mosquito activity is at its highest, or wearing long-sleeve shirts, long pants, and socks when outdoors. Also avoid stagnant water and eliminate possible opportunities for stagnant water to linger, such as turning over plastic wading pools when not in use and properly disposing of containers that may hold water outside. These simple tips can help make sure your experience outdoors is a good one. And we at DEP will make sure to keep monitoring tick and mosquito populations across Pennsylvania.